we're going to do a breakdown on this movie. So I'm planning on doing a really easy breakdown for you guys. I'll break this up into two major sections. This first section will be no spoilers in it, just overview of what to expect with the movie, just in case you guys want to go see it and you don't want any spoilers. The second half will be spoiler warning. You'll be quite thoroughly spoiled. So, though if you're familiar with the actual story, there's some spoiling, I guess. So, breakdown of content. So, first of all, Infidel. This movie just came out this month. It's been doing decent. I didn't realize the movie theaters were already open again. So, I kind of missed the boat on that one until someone mentioned it to David Wood. And I was like, oh, I'll go watch it. So, I sat down and watched it. As far as the movie good, yeah, I'd say it's actually pretty good. I was pretty surprised with how they handled everything. In the end, they really did handle it correctly as far as what is taught in the Quran, what is actually spoken of. Needless to say, this is not a politically correct film in any way, shape, or form, which is fantastically fine with me. Because as you may know, I am not politically correct at all. So, yeah, it was good. As far as accurate, was it accurate? I mean, was it nailing it on the head? Yeah, I'd say so. As far as what they believe, there is still the movie side of it, which you still have a lot more drama in it. A lot of things thrown in there just to get traction. What is it? What is it? It is, well, a movie about a Christian that goes to the Middle East that gets kidnapped. So that's the basic of the beginning. That's what I knew going in. So I didn't know how close they were going to be to it. Like I said, they're great. So what to expect as far as content, what's wrong as far as, like sexualness, language, gore, violence, and drug use. Starting with drug use. We see that, yeah, alcohol is used. They do drink alcohol definitely in the beginning. It's used to have a division between Muslims and non-Muslims. Smoking is throughout the entire thing. Cigarettes, hookah, all of it is throughout the entire thing. They don't go into detail on what they're smoking, but it's there. But this is Middle East, so that's kind of expected. As far as gore goes, now this is an extremely violent film. I'm going to break violence and gore into two different categories. I'll talk about violence later. Gore right now. Gore, medium. It's to be expected. With my experience hunting, shooting, tracking, it might have a little bit more gore as far as blood goes in some of the scenes, but not over the top. I've seen some movies that are really over the top, and no, it's not at all. As far as just violence, I'm defining violence as anything that's an aggressive action between one person or another person that leads to bodily harm. There's a lot of it. A lot of it. I'd say probably a good 80% of this movie is violence. But they're painting a picture of this guy being taken captive. So there's scenes with torture, there's murders, there's assaults happening, there's people getting blown up. So just be aware that this very, very violent. It's rated R for a good reason. Most of it is within the violence section alone. So what about sexuality, sexualness, nudity? Are there any sex scenes? I mean, that's something that's pretty often questioned being Christian, looking at any of these movies. Sex scenes are kind of commonplace. In this, none. No sex scenes at all throughout the entire movie. There are some more risque scenes, I'd say, and I'll go over them. There is a shower scene, but the only thing that's shown is from shoulder length up of this woman, mainly to... She's having flashbacks, so shoulder up. It doesn't reveal anything more than a shoulderless dress would. Really doesn't. there is an attempted rape scene. Nothing happens much about it. It is stopped. Clothes never come off. So they're all fully clothed throughout the entire thing, and it's really like 10 seconds and it's over. So just be aware of that with younger kids. And there's only one other scene that would be any sort of sexual overtones to it. It's one scene with a woman that has cloth, a towel wrapped around her. So she just has a towel wrapped around her. She was just in a shower, came out, has a towel wrapped around her. So that's all they show. And again, a strapless dress would show the same amount. I mean, you have a bikini scene, and that's more than this entire show. Entire show shows of skin. So actually, as far as sexuality goes, it was really refreshing as far as that end goes. So I guess in conclusion, I'll say hi to a couple of you guys who joined on here in the live stream side of it. So in conclusion, would I recommend this for, and this is just conclusion to the spoiler free section. Would I recommend this? I'd say yeah, for the recommended age group. Again, extremely violent. There's torture. There's descriptions of torture. This is not for the faint of heart. Again, this is along the lines of the Passion, so be aware that there's going to be a level of violence and gore. But other than that, that's about it. Language, there's a lot of language in case I missed that section, just to let you guys know. But I would recommend it. Definitely for anyone who wants to get into apologetics, who's looking at, well, what do they actually believe? What are these situations like? I'd say this is pretty doggone close as far as Hollywood can get.
You're stuck.